Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dumb Talks. I'm your host, Dan Mitchem.
All right, and today we have Talyn. How's it going?
Hi, Dan. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain. So, today's episode, we're going to be talking about martial arts because I hear you're pretty damn good at it.
Oh, thank you. Starting out with a good martial arts term because os is like used in that community sometimes.
Yeah. So, when did you start doing martial arts?
Well, it was initially forced on me when I was 7 years old, January of 97, actually. Very much dating myself. My father to Taekwondo. I've been in love with doing Taekwondo since age 7. I don't practice that style still specifically, but I alternate between different styles and really love the martial arts journey and cross training.
Why was it forced upon you? Did your family or whatever just really want you to get into it?
Well, actually, my dad and I got our black belts together. My little sister and my mom tried it and joined for a little bit, but they quit. I guess one at yellow belt and one at red belt. It was a nice family bonding activity initially. I also was a very, very ADHD child, and they thought it would be a great form of respect and discipline. So they wanted me to learn those good martial arts lessons, both physically and mentally.
Very nice. I briefly took karate when I was a little kid, but then I kind of bowed out because we had a loss of a family member. And then I don't know why, I just never went back into it. But ironically, I always wanted to. So maybe one day I'll be the old guy learning karate for the first time.
I hope so. You're never too old. One of my favorite Chinese proverbs is the best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The next best time is now. I'm a big proponent of it's never too late and just hop in and do it.
Yeah, I like that. Since then, have you learned any other styles of martial arts?
Yes, I am obsessed. So I started I grew up on a ranch in Oklahoma, first of all. We only had like one martial arts school when I was a kid, and it was an ATA Taekwondo program, and that stood for American Taekwondo Association. There was a bigger town that was 30 minutes away. The guy that owned that school, Master Mark Hale, owned some other schools in smaller towns surrounding, and I attended one of those before I started going up to the big school later on. I ended up getting a second degree black belt under Mark Hale at several different schools and locations in ATA. Interesting fact, actually, ATA no longer exists. They got bought by XMA, which stands for Extreme Martial Arts. There's actually a big school in Los Angeles that teaches that, and I have not taken anything from them and don't really know anything as far as how much they've kept of my old style and whatnot. So yeah, there's that. There's ATA. And then I have a purple belt in a second style of Taekwondo under Master Simon Rhee, who is an amazing stunt coordinator and fight choreographer who's been in lots of iconic martial arts films. One that you might have heard of is called Best of the Best. He and his brother Philip Rhee were in that together. And I have a purple belt under him in WTF, Kukiwan Taekwondo. Then I also train Filipino martial arts and several systems of that. They're not called styles, they're differentiated as like systems and styles. So I learned a little bit of the Inosanto Lacoste system, which is under Guru Dan Inosanto, one of Bruce Lee's trainers and friends. You kind of cross train in each of these two because everyone wants to be aware of like other people's systems. So that's one of the things I love about martial arts. You can kind of pop back and forth and you learn little bits of things. Like I haven't trained formally in Sayak Kali, which is a lot of knife work and artery slices in Filipino martial arts in like a Sayak system.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to do some of the Sayak artery slices that I really enjoy, although I do not heavily train in that style. So it's just this beautiful journey and a lot of exploration. I've dabbled in some Muay Thai, some MMA, a lot of Jiu-Jitsu, which is still pretty new to me. I'm very much a white belt, but I love it. I've trained under multiple people for Jiu-Jitsu as well. Right now, I love street sports in Santa Monica under Hanato Magno. He is incredible, and all of the coaches there are magnificent. And I really feel at home when I'm training there. I'm going to talk all day. There are more styles.
So, short and sweet, you're not the person to piss off because you could kill us in 80 different fashions.
I'm just obsessed with the art of it. It's so beautiful, so peaceful about being in all these different classes with like minded people who are silencing their mind and just expressing themselves through their body. I think I'm actually going to go to my second ever Tai Chi class tomorrow morning. So it's just this gorgeous journey of exploration where you learn so much.
Is it also very therapeutic, kind of like a zen when you're doing these martial arts?
Truly, it is where I find consistent, genuine joy. If my life ever feels like shit and I hate it or I get in a mood, martial arts solves all my problems.
Very nice. Which Ninja Turtle would you say you relate to or is your favorite?
I love Donatello. I actually was in a humanities class in high school. I was supposed to do Donatello, the artist presentation, and
Mhm.
instead I got the Ninja Turtle.
Are you pretty good with nunchucks or sai or any other instrument or weapons?
Size, and I haven't gotten to play with them. I mean, I haven't made the time to play with them yet. That's my fault. Total extreme ownership there. I have them, I want to learn, but I feel like I've been doing nunchucks my whole life, and I still feel like there's so much to learn with that. And I love bow staff too. I'm so excited. My mom used to say, "You're never going to get hired for nunchucks. You're a blonde white girl." And I've been hired for nunchucks so many times. Not a lot, but like it got me in working at Sony with the producers of Breaking Bad and this amazing producer, Maddie Tauber. I was doing some nunchucks on a TV pilot. He hired me to teach his son Ninja Turtle weapons at the park, and then that got me in to help design this fun lookbook at Sony Studios for a show. So nunchucks have gotten me a ton of work. And actually, February the 12th, 14th, or 16th. I think it's the 12th. There's this feature film coming out that I'm really proud of called Me, You, Madness, and it stars Louise Linton and Ed Westwick. It's going to be a really cool film, but I got to do some nunchucks in that, and I'm only allowed to say that because they just talked about it in a New York Times article that was published a couple days ago. So I know they didn't cut my scene, and I cannot wait to see it.
That's awesome. Have you seen Kill Bill?
Yes, I loved it. I watched that a ton as a kid.
Okay, I have two questions from it. One, the four move thing at the end, where she hits him in these four specific places and then he can only take 4 steps and then his heart will explode.
Pai Mei's Five Finger of Death or something.
Yeah.
I'm remembering the name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
So my question is, in any of the martial arts, is there anything similar or is it all just farce?
No, it's so funny. I haven't learned anything like that about martial arts, but I do have an EMT certification from UCLA's EMT program that I just wanted to get because I think that it's very important. If you're able to take a life, you should also be able to save one. And I
Yeah.
didn't know how. I went and did this while I was there. The LA County coroner came in and showed us video, like a lot of evidence of like how different people have died and whatnot. And we saw also from our instructors lots of different heart conditions and deaths and way that hearts can be shut down, which are able to be revived, which are shockable, and which two are not. Apparently, one of the ones that cannot be shockable, I think it was commotio cordis, something like that. But anyway, there was a martial arts clip that they showed specifically where there was a sparring match between two young boys, and one person kicked the other boy in the heart, not even hard, and it just hit it at exactly the right time between beats where the heart just cut out completely and could not be restarted. And that sometimes happens, but I don't know, and I've never heard about how to find that timing in the beat. But if you did hit it 5 times, I could see that one of them might it might be the one.
And then the other thing too with Kill Bill or any karate type movie and stuff like that, are there some, well, I guess it's probably a rhetorical question. I'm sure there's some where you're watching it and you're like, no, that doesn't happen. Or no, they can't kick and punch that quick or anything like that.
All the time. And it's creating translating that to real life in my own practice because I'm like, why can't I kick or punch as fast as in movies? So I feel like it's just going to be a lifelong journey of like trying to recoil faster at unachievable amounts because I'm sure so much of it is sped up in post. But oh my God, they're amazing fight choreographers and stunt people and stunt coordinators that have incredible martial arts movement that I think do a really good job at making it pretty realistic or at least very believable while it's still flashy and efficient and kind of mix it all together in this beautiful bit. I'm a huge fan of, okay, honestly, I really love Michael Lair. He was the fight choreographer on Extraction.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a really amazing job with his fights. I think that he and there's some other guys that have some really beautiful work. Vlad Rimberg, Guy Manny. There are so many people that just have such great movement that is so martial arts heavy and believable with moves that I don't see as silly versus there being a lot of, I don't know. I say silly, but then I think of Jackie Chan, and obviously Jackie Chan's fights are fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So I love silly stuff too, but those are my favorites.
Who are some of your martial artist role models, or who, as an actor like Jackie Chan, who would you like to be in a movie with and fight against? Who would you like to spar with?
Oh my God. Okay, on my life list, it's like a bucket list, but I like to call it life list and focus on being alive. But I have so many. I have a long list of people that I want to work with on there. And there's so many martial artists that I look up to and respect heavily. I used to love Donnie Yen movies. I mean, always will. But his style is really fascinating. I've been listening to a podcast actually. Well, it's a YouTube series called Art of Action that Scott Atkins, who's a professional fighter and also an actor and performer who's amazing athletically, does. And I've been learning a lot from that. And he breaks down a lot of different action clips and films that I'm really enjoying. That is just a never ending list, Dan. I mean, even my Taekwondo teacher, Simon Rhee, is incredible. I want to work with him. I want to work with, like, hundreds of names are flooding to my head.
Would you say you could kick Chuck Norris's ass?
I mean, no damn way, but I would love to play.
I think you could. Just take out your nunchucks on him.
Actually, I have a really funny story. There's this big stunt coordinator that I was taking a fight workshop from, and he said, I probably won't hire you if you haven't been in a real fight because I won't believe you know how to take a real hit. So I was trying to think of a way that I could be memorable to this guy because I wanted to work with him in the future doing movement. And I walked up to him after the class, kind of waited my turn, and then I said, punch me in the face.
Wow.
And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, just do it so you can know I can be hit. And he just like socked me in the face. And then he looked at me and we both smiled. It was this weird moment. And then he was like, do you want to hit me in the face? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to hit you in the face. It was such a really fun moment. And then after that, whenever I saw him around the scene, I would just always walk up and hug him.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's always random when some person comes up to you out of nowhere and says, hey, do you want to hit me in the face?
Well, I thought if it's one of the things he's trying to teach, I damn well wanted to prove that I could take a hit and be on set with that guy.
I did a haunt one year where they gave us actual tasers. Now, we turned them all the way down to the lowest setting, but still, they gave us friggin' tasers. And so I told one of my coworkers, you got to hit me with this damn thing so I know what kind of shit I'm inflicting on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got tased by my friend, so I can put that on my living list. Not my bucket list, my living list. And I'm glad it was on the lowest setting because I can only imagine if it was bumped up all the way. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't I'm actually so curious about that. I at one point tried to get one of my friends. I was like, if I buy like a mattress to put outside and a taser and I run and jump in the air, will you shock me and see what happens? I was like, it could be kind of like weird spaz Superman moment. And they were like, no, I'm not doing that. So I haven't been tased. I assume it's somewhat similar to what it felt like when my dad told me to grab our electric fence. And I grabbed it and it was off. And he was like, now touch the ground. And that was my scientific lesson in grounding.
To me, it felt like a rat was biting on my shoulders.
Oh, God.
Well, a nice rat, not a New York City rat, a nice rat from the suburbs.
Some people do have them as pets.
Yeah. Now, you also do other type of stunts because you are a stunt woman. Have you applied a lot of your martial arts to doing stunts? Has it helped you when it comes to learning different stunts that aren't necessarily considered martial arts?
Yes. But also, one of my main critiques from people is when I'm doing stuff that's not martial arts related, they're like, Talyn, stop being so martial artsy. We don't need that.
Wow.
Usually that's a very frequent comment that I get, less martial artsy. So I really try to be more like loose and unintentional with it, but it's so hard because it's like ground into my brain with blood, sweat, and tears. So I should work a lot more on like some dirty street fighting that is less technical for sure. Because I love the way that style looks on screen. I love that dirty street fighting style.
I know you're going to keep doing stunts and stuff like that, but in terms of martial arts, where do you see yourself moving forward in that? Like, do you want to become a teacher? Do you want to learn other styles?
Oh, goodness. I used to teach martial arts some. I taught some taekwondo when I was younger. I don't personally want to be a teacher. I don't enjoy it. And I know so many people do. And I feel like that should be for them. But I'm happy to train with my friends and like have a good time with it. But I would not enjoy teaching or having my own school like that. I could see myself owning a gym one day and providing like an open gym environment for people to come train their own styles, kind of like joining on movement jam does. And I really, really enjoy and appreciate that freedom of movement and the space they provide for those kinds of things. But with my martial arts career, I on the background of my computer, I have I guess like a vision board where I have
Yeah.
a bunch of pictures of places that I want to go. And on that, it says I want a black belt in jiu-jitsu, a black belt under Grodan Inosanto in Filipino martial arts, and a black belt in WTF Taekwondo from Simon Rhee. So I am hoping and praying that I can at least, there's so many more styles I want to do, but that I can at least get back into those three environments and train and do more of what I love under those people that I have such great respect for, because with their discipline and instruction and their advice regarding morals, positive reinforcement, and strength training, my life is just so much better every day when I have that there. And I hope to be able to get back to that.
Very nice. Do you have a page where people can get a hold of you in case they want to use you for stunts or anything?
Yes, we have different stunt service pages. I usually turn people to my IMDb to see my credits and resume. Then we have, as stunt performers, we have our resumes listed on a few different services. I like so many of them. Stunt Phone, run by John Dixon's really good. There's Stunt Players Directory, the Carter family runs. There's iStunt that Jeremy runs, and there are a lot of great options for stunt services. If I'm just pitching myself and like the movement that I'm doing, I have an Instagram that's at Talyn Edelson, TalynEdelson, and I post a ton on there. I'm very excited to start doing a lot more movement clips and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I say that even though I've trained martial arts for my whole life, that does not mean I'm good. Like, I could be terrible at it. I don't know. I just love it. And I have no frame of reference on what my skill level is, truly. I mean, like, someone could walk up to me and, like, kill me in one hit. Maybe. Maybe not. I have no idea how that would go down. I have been in several fights. Martial arts has served me very well. It saved my life on multiple occasions, and I'm very proud of that. But I still want to make it very clear that I don't know anything. Like, I still, every day, feel like the older I get, the more and more I know nothing. And I'm fine with that.
Look at it in a positive way. You can always learn more things. You're never done learning.
Exactly. We live in a vast universe.
Yeah. All right. And that's Talyn, everybody. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thanks, Dan.
And that's Dumb Talks. Thanks again for listening. Be sure to subscribe at the bottom for future episodes. Who knows? Maybe I'll be talking with you next.